All right, it's at 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the November meeting in Windsor Township Board of Supervisors. I'd like to invite everybody to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Technology.
He got to this.
What's that?
He got to this, and
Okay.
then when he went up to PC, that's where it stopped.
Right down there.
All right, we'll try and get this going as we're going along here. All right, the first item on the agenda, can someone make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 8th meeting of the board?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. I recused myself since I wasn't at the meeting.
Right, I think that makes sense.
All right. All right, move on to public comment. Corrections, strikes? Stern, sorry about that. You have the floor.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of South Schuylkill Property Group, who is constructing the ideal self-storage facility in Windsor Township. As I understand, you've met with your solicitor about this over the last several weeks, so I'm not going to reiterate those discussions, but I received an email from your solicitor on October 20th that upon the receipt of additional escrow funds in the amount of $43,000, that the developer could continue with the development on the site and that inspections would occur. In fact, the purpose of the additional $43,000 was to ensure there was plenty of funds for the inspections. We'd like to proceed with that, and the next step we discussed was having a site meeting that would include the township engineer as well as our engineer, so we can make sure everybody's on the same page. Now that we have deposited that is additional funds, which occurred on October 31st, we're having some difficulty getting the meeting set up. And you had asked us to execute an improvements agreement, which South Schuylkill is anxious to do to keep moving forward. So I understand it's not on the agenda for tonight. We're still working on a couple details.
You're on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. I made sure we put you on the agenda.
Okay,
I'm the
great.
Township Engineer, Pamela.
Nice to meet you, Pamela.
Nice to meet you too. And what I'd like to explain why we didn't schedule the site meeting yet is there's 3 sets of plans that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's so difficult, Gretchen, get on
Yes.
site with 3 sets of plans. What I really wanted was to have the set of plans that's the most current submitted to our office as the same set that would be submitted to the planning commission so we could compare it and then have a field
There's no
meeting.
point in doing that. They're going to change. That's why we discussed a completely different procedure with your solicitor. That was not a procedure we were willing to do. We wanted a site meeting because there conditions they had addressed in the field necessitated changes.
Mhm.
Now, we believe those changes, as shown on a final plan, will meet the requirements of your ordinance. We agree they have to.
What
They
is-
meet the requirements of our NPDS permit.
What is the October 17th set then?
The October,
17th
from this year or last year?
this year. The most current set, I don't have a copy of, but that's what the contractor's using. That's the set I would like.
Okay, we would like to present them to you on site and explain the changes that have occurred and the ones that are going to occur. Because in light of the lack of communication over a 6-month period, it's very confusing to just hand out a set of plans and have it compared to something that has changed.
What do you mean a lack of communication for 6 months?
We didn't hear back from your engineer for 6 months. In fact, Ryan Westner had believed everything was approved and issued building permits, which is why we started construction. And we began to, we submitted $29,000 in inspection fees at the beginning of October, got the permits, and then a week after that, Ryan called my client and told him that you were going to file an injunction to stop him from using the permits that he had just been issued. Now, we called for the inspections, which is what brought this to light. So I want to be very clear. We want to meet all of your requirements. We want you to inspect. The last thing we want is to build a thing and have you come out and say something was wrong. We don't want that. But that's when it was discovered that you'd taken no action on the plan for some time. Now, we want to work with you.
So
when I meet with the township-
Hold that thought. So no action was taken, so you proceeded because of time?
No, we
Perhaps?
proceeded because there was a site meeting. Ryan came to the site meeting, told us everything was fine, and issued us building permits because he told us we could proceed with building.
So Russell, what's the legal consequences here?
So the legal consequences when a plan is not acted on is that within 90 days, it is a deemed approval. So we're in a situation where if the developer wanted to take a hardline stance, they could say, well, the plans as submitted were deemed to be approved. They are not taking that stance. They are cooperating with us. And I did
So
email.
where's the crack here, that this was not addressed within that time frame?
It was never placed on your agenda. There was a recommendation from the planning commission.
In January.
It was in January, and it was never placed on the supervisor's agenda for consideration. So at this point, I emailed you all the draft improvements agreement, but I did that at I think around 4 o'clock this afternoon, which is why I said I was not going to ask for your approval on it. I do have hard copies if any of you would like hard copies of what I emailed. I do have that. I have reviewed this. I'd like Pamela to have an opportunity to review it before making comments on it. But I think that at this point, I would agree that a site meeting would likely be helpful to keep the ball moving in the right direction. I understand the developer is dealing with, working against the weather clock to some extent. But I also think that if Pamela would find it useful to have a copy of the October 17th plans in advance of that meeting, I think that should be supplied, with the understanding that they're going to be reviewed at the site meeting. But I think that it will help her come into that meeting more prepared with questions.
I've never seen the plans.
Yeah.
I've never seen the plans.
There's no point in comparing them to the plans that were approved by the planning commission last year. We have made some site changes. Now, we didn't add 8 more buildings or anything like that, but
They're flat.
Well, give us an example what you're referring to, because we're
The
talking
changes?
yeah, I mean,
So there
are we
was,
talking about an inch or something, or?
no, we're talking about more than an inch, but we're not
Okay.
talking about any additional buildings or anything. We are talking about removing a retaining wall and making some changes on the site to necessitate that the retaining wall was not needed. Our engineer determined it was not needed, and that is reflected on the approved NPDS plans. So the biggest change would be the removal of that wall. However, we think we can justify that it still meets all the requirements of your ordinance, and it meets the requirements of our NPDS permit. One building is slightly angled differently than it was on the
Okay,
plan.
I have no
That's,
perspective,
yeah,
okay?
that's,
So
I
all
understand.
we need to do is have a site meeting, get the right set of plans, so that office can look at it and we can move forward. Is that all it takes?
Correct,
Yes,
but we'd
everybody
like to
signs
do, I'm happy to send those plans, including an explanation of what you're gonna see that's going to change.
Mhm.
We would like a commitment that the site meeting is going to occur. And if we can, soon, I don't mean tomorrow, but soon,
Mhm.
because we're running out of the ability to pour concrete. So while on one hand, the plan and what we discussed doing, as I discussed with Russell, because we made changes, if you had this on your agenda and it was approved in, let's call it May, and then we went out and started building, and we came across site conditions that required us to say change a wall. Ultimately, at the end of the project, we would have submitted a secondary set, an as-built plan, to
Mhm.
show that,
And
and
you
you'd have
did it.
recorded that.
And you
Okay.
needed
So
any.
no matter what, we gotta submit another plan.
Let's just bury the hatchet and move forward,
I would
okay?
love that.
Okay.
That-
We
That's
agree
what
to do that?
that's what we're doing.
Okay.
And so I think if you can send those plans, let's try to get a meeting scheduled, say within the next 2 weeks.
That'd be great.
Before Thanksgiving.
Can we have Brian come out and look? There was one concrete pour that they have in the next few days. I did advise my client to call Ryan about that because we did make the payment for the 43. Now, we understand that there's risk involved on our part, that if there'd be a problem with it,
No,
it's on
that
us.
inspection is more of the UCC building pad inspection. That has nothing to do
But
with.
we can go ahead and do
the-
that. I just don't want Ryan to be confused if in
Right.
fact that call comes in.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I can tell him at the office tomorrow, this
I
is the
appreciate
plan.
that.
I have no problem. It's just
Right.
flying blind, Gretchen, is very hard for me.
Okay.
I've never seen the plans. So we have 3 sets of plans that are in the, well, actually 2. We have the planning commission conditionally approved plan set and the NPDES plan set. Alls I have is a photo of the title block saying, you know, I think it was contractor changes or property owner changes, applicant changes, something that the buildings were changed. The retaining wall,
The retaining walls.
the whole thing. And then you flatten the site 4 feet to get rid of all that grade, because that's what the contractor on site told my person. There was major regrading changes, so that there's a whole section in the middle of the buildings that's gone, it's flattened. So it made it a much nicer site, no retaining wall in that one location. So there were
I
some
think it was
good
quite that
changes.
severe, but there were changes.
I have no
I will have
problem.
Mike email you tomorrow
Okay.
with the plan and explanation
Yes,
and then
please.
some dates.
Please.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Were those plans ever reviewed, the final plans by Steve Hoffman?
No.
Is that from
No.
Great Valley?
Yes.
The preliminary plans were reviewed by the planning
Preliminary were, but we
commission
never
and
saw
they,
any-
and
never
they
saw
were recommended.
preliminary or final.
Yeah.
So the plan was originally submitted as a preliminary/final, and Steve reviewed those plans, and there was a recommended approval. At this point, those plans are now gonna be considered a preliminary plan only, and then they're going to make a final submission, essentially post-construction. They're assuming that risk.
Right.
At the December meeting, you can put on the agenda the improvement of the land development improvements agreement, so we have that documented. I'll encourage you to, I don't know that there are gonna be any significant changes, so if you wanna get signature
No,
pages to.
I do have a signature page, so we're ready to go there, and
Yeah.
if there are minor changes, I'm sure they will authorize me to attach. And I agree with everything you just said, except we will submit a final plan as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're not gonna
Okay.
wait till post-construction,
Okay.
because the sooner we have a final plan, sooner you guys know what's going on, sooner we have that approval, and we have less risk to finish with the construction that there would be a disagreement as to whether or not it's
Okay.
required.
And
So we're not gonna wait, we're gonna,
ultimately,
submit it
you
in
need
short
the
order.
as-built for the NPDES anyway, so at
Mhm.
some point in time, you're gonna have another plan
Right.
that also can be submitted to the township for their records as a NPDES.
because of the change with the wall, we recognize that it would make more sense to get you a plan sooner rather than later, have you review it as a final plan, and then, of course, the as-built. But we would like, at the same time, considering we started construction, we would at least want to get through some milestones like the pouring without missing that. So we're trying to walk a real fine line here. We want to get things in front of you, but at the same time, we started, now we got to get a couple of milestones done. So
And
I appreciate your
We'll
cooperation.
set the meeting up before Thanksgiving.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
make sure Mike gives me dates before.
Okay,
Okay.
he'll be back to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do the three of you believe that I need to attend that meeting? I usually
It's
don't.
an engineering thing.
Yeah, I usually
Yeah,
don't.
we would appreciate it. They asked me if I would attend. If Russell can't make it, we don't want to hold it up for that. But quite frankly, we're paying the bill. So we'd appreciate the insight, because he understands where we're at procedurally.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, because, and, you know, you take it out of our escrow.
No, that escrow stays, does it not?
That-
Well, you bill us, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Is that
security.
happening?
It's security, so.
It's
so-
still on us,
Did you
though.
bill them this past month?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
they have been
And
billed.
we got a payment.
Okay.
I have here receipt. I'll show you.
yeah, the escrow stays until the.
Project is complete.
Is complete. Okay.
Thank
But
you.
that escrow doesn't cover Great Valley's plan reviews. That escrow is covering the construction.
Right, but they're
Right.
getting
Well,
billed.
we did pay two different, we paid the building inspection fee, which was 29,000, and then we paid 43,000 toward the land development costs. Now, we're
Yeah.
getting billed, so you bill us for Great Valley or whatever the case may be, we'll
So
continue
do
to
you
pay the bills
understand
as
what
we
I'm
have.
asking you? That covers everybody. That's Great Valley, SDE, and your time.
That was my understanding, but if we need to spell that out specifically in the improvements agreement, no.
When I
no
did the
objection.
calculation, it was based on the construction cost estimate that was provided. It was a one-page, just a lump sum of so much money, and there was a certain percentage we took. It did not involve Great Valley, because I don't know how much time they're gonna take to review.
Well, they're not gonna review till we submit a new final plan, right? Nothing till then?
Right.
And typically, if the process is a plan escrow, review fee has to be
Well,
submitted.
So why wouldn't we do that when we submit the final plan?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a separate fee.
It's a
fee for-
separate, right.
Separate monetary contribution at that
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Was there any waivers that needed to be discussed on that plan?
There may be.
And how do we handle that?
Well, we could probably do them at the December meeting.
We can,
right? Just so that
Yeah.
you keep moving.
yeah, I mean, there were waivers that
remember
were
them.
recommended, I don't remember exactly what they
Yeah, I
are.
thought there was quite a list.
It
Yeah.
was quite a list.
Yeah, can you have Mike send us a waiver letter? And we'll put that on the agenda for the December meeting, which.
Just the ones the planning commission recommended. If there's
Right.
new ones,
Right,
that is then
Yeah, just the
wrapped
ones
into
that
the
were-
And some may
final
be
plan.
now, so,
right.
but yes.
And
Does
then
that make
that
sense?
meeting is, yes, and that meeting, I believe, is December 17th, which is a week later than normal because of the budget.
The board
Anything else?
meeting.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you.
All right, Mr. Dave King.
I don't have anything real big other than I'm here see where things stand with the escrow. And also we had a question, I tried to talk to Massimo about the handover of the common area property. He says, oh, I don't know if I can do that if their township's not done. I said, well, why don't you just ask your attorney and get it done? But I just come in here for free advice, mostly for Russell.
Well, call them on your own time, okay?
Are you serious or are you joking?
No, I'm serious.
Okay, well then I'm not here for that. I'm here because I want the support of the township, and I want to know, since I pay my taxes, I want to know what you suggest we should do.
What's your concern? You were here and spoke last meeting.
Well, the escrow, I wasn't here last month,
It was a month before then.
Yeah.
It was a month before.
maybe 2 months ago.
Okay, so be it.
I just didn't appreciate the comment. If it was fine if you were joking, but I
It's a
really
joke.
didn't
It's
like
a
it.
joke. It's a joke. Just relax,
Okay.
okay? It's a joke.
Sounds good. We're not real happy with the trees that got replaced just the other day. They didn't give us notice and they put them right back in the same hole that they came from. Same rocks that were there, probably not gonna work. So I'm concerned about the escrow.
That wouldn't be turned over until July of next year anyway, wasn't it?
Well, we have an extension,
An extension
the agreement's
on it.
been signed, and we are holding funds. I think we
All
were
right,
waiting for.
you ready?
Yeah,
Okay. Attorney Mooney for the developer requested that we finally, per our August meeting, reduce the escrow down to the 5,700, which is what the supervisors approved, which is consultant time and tree replacement for 2,700. So that I presented in front of you. It was already approved. It just needs to be signed and then mailed to the bank, which
And
then
that's-
releases it like around 40,000 comes down, or 35,000 comes back to Massimo. The 5,700 stays
Okay,
until July.
and that could be used for improvements of dead trees, that
It's
sort
the
of thing.
trees only, yeah, it's
For
the
trees only,
landscaping.
okay.
It's the landscaping, so if they don't live, they
Okay,
get replaced again,
okay.
okay?
Does the board know if we can transfer the common area grounds to the HOA at this point?
that's beyond the scope of what the board can.
So the board has nothing to do?
Board has nothing to do with
nothing
it.
to do.
That's a
Okay.
question you do have to ask your HOA attorney.
Okay. We did ask, and I asked Massimo as well, I just don't know, the board doesn't have any risk if that's not part of the agreement, that this gets changed over to an HOA in any way or fashion.
No, the township has nothing to do with that, with whether or not those common elements are transferred over to the HOA.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, does that answer your question then on the
So,
trees?
and it stays until July,
Around June, July, to make sure that they have come through the spring, they're blossoming, they're budding, they're doing great,
okay.
and if not,
I appreciate you guys looking at,
the money's
Feel free to
held.
water them.
yeah, but they literally, I talked to Massimo, I said, could you just put some topsoil in, take the rocks out, and they didn't bring any topsoil, just threw them right in the hole and just rocks.
So come October or the spring of '27, the trees die, it's
No,
over.
it's 26.
I understand. The money's given back in August of '26.
Correct.
In the spring of '27, the trees die and don't come back.
Then it's
Don't-
on.
So
It's
It's on
over,
me.
it's finally over.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes, then it's all closed out, correct.
okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, there's no other Public comment? No? All right, we'll move on to reports, financial status.
If you have a handout, which is rather big compared to what the normal statement for this meeting, if you look at the page, the first page, that of course shows the revenues. Again, a point that I make all the time is our major source of income is earned income tax. And it's, as of this point, and we will get another payment, $412,000 some dollars. We did get a notification from PennDOT. If you go down to line item 355.05, that will be the amount of monies roughly that we will be getting next year. So that's basically stayed the same. As of today, total revenues received in all accounts, $956,833.53. Of course, the second page then shows expenditures. This particular month, it shows more expenditures, particularly on line item 438, road maintenance. There you can see the 81,311 out of the state fund and 141,966 out of the general fund. Road maintenance is the biggest expense item, $223,000 some dollars. If we compare expenditures compared to income, expenditures as of this evening in all accounts, $696,306.37. If we look on the bottom of the page, you can see what is accounts in the savings account, general fund, the park fund, those monies, the state liquid fuels fund, and well, all of them, it's just right there. That's what we have at this point. Any questions on the board?
Still doing good on interest.
Pardon?
Still doing good on interest.
Yeah.
Any comment?
I do, Craig, that check for that escrow, 43,000 that was just spoke about, for the ideal storage, where is that money sitting at?
It's in the general fund.
It's in the general fund. And we talked about a couple months ago, but we're billing for all the professional services on a monthly basis now.
Yes, they get their billing with that. In fact, I'll show you. I have them here in the folder.
Okay, so we're billing on a monthly basis now.
Yeah, if they have a cost. Sometimes
Right.
there isn't
Sure,
a
I
cost,
understand.
so it's only if there is expenses needed.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, engineer and zoning. Steve.
Okay, we talked about the towns at Carter Creek, so that's first. Mountain Road, you have your packets, Mountain Road and LSA, where there were no items or updates from SDE. And then the Blue Heron Village, my understanding is that that's gonna be on the planning commission agenda next week.
Yes, so there is a
Okay.
meeting next Tuesday. Has that been advertised, Craig?
Yes,
Okay.
That's a special planning commission meeting.
yes.
And with
Why
that,
is it special?
because it's the planning commissions are held.
We usually only, planning commission only meets in even number of months. So it's,
They submitted it, so we have to keep the clock going.
They requested.
they
special-
requested it, so they.
So
they
we
can
agreed,
pay for it.
I want to make sure we're on the same page, we agreed, since they requested that, all costs are going to be, for that meeting's going to be billed to them.
The
Yes.
advertisement and everything else along. with all the
Advertisement and
signs.
professional fees.
Mhm.
Yes.
The professional
All-
fees, that's a no-brainer, but the ad,
Yeah.
The
definitely.
planning commission, members' fees, everything.
Yep.
And there's only one party going to be at that meeting, correct? Or we open it up to other parties?
Well, it's a public meeting, so if someone else comes, they can address the board in public comment, but the only thing of substance on the agenda is going to be the Blue Heron project.
But if somebody else comes in, are those expenses get divided, or how's that gonna be handled? Or you deny them the
You
opportunity?
can't deny them.
So
Yeah.
so Blue and Heron will be paying for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
can't deny them. But I'll note that there's another application that
Yes.
came in.
Yeah, the way will,
Right, but they requested to be on the December 16th.
December.
Okay.
So that's not, we're not going to be addressing that in
And they've been
November.
notified that they will be on the agenda for the December meeting.
Okay, so you let them know?
Excellent, okay.
I just wanna make sure we're all on the same page.
All right, great. Blue Heron, that's the one with the campground.
Yes.
Well, there's many definitions over a long period of time,
I'm just
okay?
gonna say,
That has not been enforced, okay?
But, again, the clock will start, the MPC clock starts the day of the meeting. So when, I don't want another deemed approved plan for you guys. So in my packet,
Help me out, you're trying to make me read between the lines and I missed it, okay? What clock starts?
it's called a municipal planning code clock. And Russell referred to it, when a plan's submitted, in, let's say the case of the self-storage,
Yes.
planning commission made a recommendation. Per the municipal planning code, the supervisors have 90 days to take action on that conditional approval, waivers, whatever they did. And if not, you need to ask for a time extension for the municipal planning code clock, or it becomes deemed approved, or you reject it. You have 3 options. Okay?
Okay.
So Blue Heron is not a pleasant plan. So, once that clock starts, in the packet here, I have given you a sample letter from another municipality that can come from the planning commission, and also a plan track sheet that can be done. And what the plan track sheet does is it verifies the clock, and then if you need to do an extension. I can't see where you are in the packet.
Yeah,
They would grant us an extension.
They grant us.
Correct.
So,
So we accept it, but a lot of
But
times
they,
the municipal.
but they don't have to.
No, they don't, but a lot of times it starts at the planning commission. The planning commission recommends to the supervisors, just recommendation. But ultimately, this board has to acknowledge it and accept it. If not, reject the plan.
so
Okay?
I think it's important to ask this question. Whose responsibility is it to track these within the township? Track these timelines?
The sample that I gave you, which is after the Blue Heron Village, and there's a Berks County Planning Commission review letter as well in there, is the manager for the township in this case does the letter, but SDE does the tracking, and since it's all pass-through, the tracking time goes billed to the developers that we're updating.
As the solicitor for both the planning commission and board,
It may be best that he does it. Again, it's a
in my
pass-through.
opinion, it would be
It's a
best because
pass-through.
you're seeing it from both sides.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna pay the bill
They
anyway,
are,
so
they are.
it's like, why not have you track it?
Mhm.
So here's my concern here. Since I've been sitting up here, I've been hearing lots of comments about bad behavior taking place down there, okay? I don't know if it's true or not. At Blue
Oh,
Heron site,
oh,
okay?
sorry, yes.
And I sit at these meetings and it's like we keep kicking the can around the corner and these problems compound. And the developer works the system and we keep going in circles here. And we're digging ourselves a grave in the process, are we not? Is that fair, Russell?
Yeah, and that's why, after the planning commission meeting, I sent a rather detailed email to the planning commission, and I copied the board, because I went through, this is my concern, is that they haven't been held to task, or you know, it's almost like they go in one direction, then they start to go in a different direction, and no one is making sure that they finish the direction they started. And so I think that there are definitely some issues with the conditional use decision. And what they are clearly trying to do is avoid having to come back in front of you for conditional use. But I don't think that there's any way that every road leads back to you. And for whatever reason, whether it's money or they don't think they're gonna get the relief that they're seeking, or it's money, they seem to keep trying to do things that they think don't lead back to a conditional use. And I think they're gonna be very disappointed when they get to the planning commission meeting, because I don't think they're gonna get what they're looking for.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the plan proposes lots, new lots in the south section where they're not supposed to build per the conditional use.
So where's this falling apart at? Who's dropping the ball? Why are we getting to this position?
This is a new plan that there's.
No, but I'm saying is, we sat here in the planning commission, Steve Hoffman sat there, and he announced that he's been working on this site for 15, 20 years.
Well,
Okay, that's his own words.
no, but you have to understand that there's been a history to this property and a lot
A
of.
second developer.
And this is a different owner.
This is a different owner,
Mhm.
but Dennis Crispin,
Yes.
when he was alive and he owned this property, his mode was, I'm gonna do it and then ask for permission later. And then, I mean, he was here, I remember when I started with the township, he was at almost every meeting, and there was always a problem.
He
And,
keeps changing, they keep changing their mind.
Mhm.
That's the problem.
right, so, I mean.
So whose job is it to hold them accountable for what they commit to on each one of these steps?
Well, if they wanna change their mind, the planning commission has to give them an answer one way or the other.
Right, so when they submit something, we have to address it. So, and there was a point in time when we held, a couple of years ago, we actually held the final plan signatures because they were deficient on some things. So we have tried to hold them to task, but because of the way the MPC is drafted, it's stacked in favor of the developer and against the township in certain respects. So there are certain timelines that we have to comply with. And I believe this is the problem. Yeah, at one point, we actually did deny
You
a
did.
plan.
You did.
That was Crispin Lake. It was Crispin Lake, though. It was in Blue Heron, but we had a plan from Crispin Lake that was sitting out there with getting extensions. It had to be 10 years. And we finally said enough, and we denied it. So,
I think there was also an application for something to, was it the apartments or do something with
Well, in that,
multifamily uses or
yeah,
something
in
like
that time as well, he was forced to put in a sewer system and a water system, and that
Mhm,
threw the clock back.
mhm. Yeah,
Right.
it's hard to control a moving target.
I'm just using that as an example on any other project. We can't be, either we do it or we don't do it.
No, I
We're going
agree.
through a lot of motions, but there's no
Well, I think
firm
this,
action taken at the
something
end.
like this that Russell can do that's passed on to the
Okay.
developer is going to help keep you clear on what activities are going on at the planning level that then are gonna come.
Well, I'm not saying for or against what they're doing, that's not the issue here. My issue is it just seems to be just loosey-goosey, and there's bills coming in constantly for it, and nothing's firmed up.
And originally, he wasn't allowed to do anything on the south side.
Yes,
he's not allowed to do
because of
anything
the
on the
road
south
system.
side.
correct.
He's,
There's
He
no
could
road
do,
system.
he could make adjustments to the houses that were there on the same footprint,
Correct,
and that was it. But now he wants to put new lots up there.
yes.
And the whole thing is, when all this started, we went out there before one of the planning commission meetings, but Darrell was here,
yeah.
and we walked the roads, and there's no way to get fire equipment up there.
That's the concern.
And that's why we denied the south side.
And that's why I'm concerned about a deemed approved plan
Yeah.
on your behalf. Okay. So, all right, so that's Blue Heron Village. The 2025 road project, we're still getting payroll certs, so I gave them to Craig for your file. And then we already talked about that signature and. Oh, that's it, in my report. That was the last one, was the hammer sex storage. So are there any, I know, Jerry, you had said about something for the zoning officer or code issue. You
Yes.
wanted me to make sure.
Yeah, I just want it to be on record and the public to know that the zoning hearing board denied the request to, on the Kaufman-Ross partnership property. And Ryan talked to Beth, the attorney. Apparently, there's been many conversations. And Russell, they told Ryan that they are not going to appeal that decision.
I spoke to Attorney Cole this afternoon as well.
You did?
Yes, she called me.
Okay.
And she has indicated they are most likely not going to appeal. And they are looking at, coming up with a compliance plan. They would like it to sit down with the township and have that be a cooperative effort, so that they know that what they do is going to be supported by the township. But they said it's gonna take some time. So I don't know that they're necessarily gonna have all that work done by the end of January, which I think was something.
That's what they committed to Ryan to, okay? And this goes back to this issue with Blue Heron, okay? We keep kicking the can down the road, and next thing we know, there's something past that slips through the cracks, all right? So
I talked to Ryan today.
Okay.
And asked him specifically if he said something by the end of January. He told me not. And of course,
He was told,
if you have a major project like that, you're gonna have, the applicant's gonna have to come up with, to show progress. But you can't just do some of those things right off the bat. In fact, you talked about having to have certain permits, of course, that takes some time. Trying to have this done by the end of January is unrealistic.
Well, I'm relaying what Ryan said, that it was committed to him, it'd take 90 days to get cleaned up. I'm just relaying what I was told.
Well, it may take 90 days once they have permits and plans in place, because they also indicated to me that they recognize that they're likely going to need to submit a land development plan to be considered
So
by the
why do
planning
you
commission.
need a permit to clean the site up?
Well,
You're gonna have to move it, and you're gonna have to go through all the permits to move all that material.
yeah, technically, when your land development plan is required anytime you're moving any, you're doing some sort of construction or
Okay.
moving anything on the
All right.
land.
You see where we're going here, Russell? Okay, and the other comment I'm gonna make so the public knows, and it's on recorded video in the record, that it's hearsay from Ryan to me, that they want to put an agricultural building on that site. That may or may not be true, I don't know, okay?
I was not.
I just want everybody to know, I know the difference between an excavator and a combine, okay? A lowboy trailer and a hay wagon. The game days are over, going forward, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. So, extend it out. This is where the problems are at in this township.
Well, and I think that then you need to make sure that there's someone who is responsible for making sure that it gets to completion. Because I think some of the problems also stem from the fact that when it's everybody's job, it's nobody's job. So somebody who in the township, whose responsibility is it to make sure that this doesn't slip through the cracks? Is it SDE? Is it Ben? Is it the township secretary?
Are you asking me, or is?
I'm asking you.
Well, in my opinion, for this case, it's Ryan, all right? Ryan needs to write a letter to them and tell them we agreed upon a date of 90 days and action's gonna happen. I'm afraid that we got this structure now, we're gonna kick this can down the road for 3 more years. Meanwhile, there's 2 renters on that property that's not permitted. You follow me?
I'm agreeing with you.
And then meanwhile, we get phone calls over trivial stuff that we spend tremendous amount of money chasing down. That's my problem.
I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is that we want to make sure that we're all aware of who is responsible, so that that person can hold them accountable.
So you're making notes, Pamela. Are you gonna go back and direct Ryan to send a certified letter out?
I have a blue
Thank
star
you.
that tells
Thank
me
you.
to send a letter.
Thank
Okay?
you.
A certified letter for what? For what? For the time frame for the end of July?
The property
or
has
end
been
of
found that on the map that you signed
Yes,
Back
you,
in,
you said that before, now just keep talking to me.
back in 2008 here, okay?
Yeah,
All
but
right.
that would
Okay,
keep,
so that property they came in at seek a variance, it was
Right.
denied, they're not appealing it, so now the question is,
Right.
it needs to be brought in compliance.
right, and of course, whatever can be moved to the areas that would be industrial. And that can be on the Leonardville side.
Sure.
Or the Hamburg side.
Exactly.
And that's going to take time in order to get the plans. So, of course, I'm sure that you'd be working with Ryan as to, you know, the time frame for this, but of course, there has to be things shown that there's progress being made.
Has anything been done yet?
Yeah, a lot of it.
What has been done so far since this decision?
What has been done?
Yes.
A lot of the small material has been moved. Now, I physically don't go down, I'm not involved in that, but I know that they're working at it, and what are you smirking for? You don't
I'm not
believe-
smirking.
Yeah, you are, you don't believe
No.
what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you that, of course, you know, the party is trying to work to have
Okay.
this done
Okay,
properly,
okay.
and of course, to do it properly, you need to have time.
Well, I think the one thing that Ryan can do is, if they're not gonna commit to the end of January having it cleaned up, I think we need a proposed timeline from them.
So in another case, somebody in this audience has a violation. How much time do they get? I'm talking about other issues.
I think it depends on the complexity of the issue.
So what's reasonable?
I can't answer that question, because I can't judge, you know, how much time it is, you know, to move the quantity of equipment. It's not within my expertise.
There's no timeline in the decision.
No, there's no timeline in the
Okay.
decision, but essentially, they're effectively in violation.
Mhm.
Now, I think they're not technically in violation until their appeal period expires. Because
And that's-
even if they say, oh, we're not gonna appeal, they could, they have until, I don't know what the date
It's
is.
30
30
days from
days.
the 10/23.
Yeah, so they have until, you know, 10 till 11/23 to file an appeal. But I think that once that date passes, we need, you know, if we're, you know, if it's, you know, we think that we want it done by the end of January, you tell them, you have,
That's the date that was given to Ryan, which Ryan conveyed to me. I didn't make that date up. You understand? Okay.
I understand. I think we need to confirm if that's the date that Ryan was given. And then if they don't comply, then on February 1st, Ryan's issuing a notice of violation. And then you're gonna proceed.
Yeah, 'cause he's the zoning officer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are there any other issues for the engineering, SEO, codes?
No.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, fire service, nobody's here from the fire company this evening? Either or? No? All right, we'll go to Roadmaster, we have Ben.
Beginning of last month, CMS was here, did our patchwork. That was out for bid, our major road work for this year. Also, overhead door was here, put the new garage door opener on at the small truck door that had given out. We were out crack sealing the middle of the month. We had gotten rained out from the spring crack sealing, so they brought it back for 3 days so we could finish up, so we did that. got roughly 11.5 miles of road done in those 3 days, so working at that, trying to keep everything sealed up. The pipe work, that's all blacktopped and done now. They're gonna come sometime this week to review the work for the grant money, and then we have to submit our bills and stuff to get for the final payment then. The standby generator got its yearly inspection by Mike. It didn't take anything this year, so that was good. The little truck 6, is back over at the Route 61 because we have an issue with the turbo again. We developed a major oil leak behind the engine and also is due for inspection. So they're working at that right now. Also, we're over at the park and put up the fence to catch the leaves too. So that's doing its job because the other day it got blown over from them high winds, so I had to put it back up. So, but it has 3/4 of the leaves. So, other things to mention: the line is here for over at the park. So once we get the leaves cleaned up, we get that on the ground. Update for the new single axle truck chassis. It's been delayed due to the front axle. So now instead of being here for Thanksgiving, now they're looking at the end of the year, beginning of the new year for its arrival. And then it's gonna go directly down to Coots to get upfitted. Starting mid-December-ish, as long as weather holds, we want to start trimming out trees again out of the right-of-ways because they're growing back in. They're hitting the trucks. We're going to start Balthaser, Chrisman, and then Hawes Hill, and then Witchcraft and Port Clinton Avenue, because we want to get Balthaser, Chrisman, and Hawes Hill all ready for oil and chip if we do that next year. So that's the main areas. Had a call yesterday. From the strong winds from last week, a tree snapped off of one person's property, fell onto another person's deck and swimming pool and their fence over on Pondview Drive. And she had asked what the township can do. I said, well, not really too much because that's all private property and we don't have anything to do with tree ordinance and stuff as far as trees coming down. She said, there's dead trees there. Nobody's maintaining the property. I said, well, it's pretty much up to her.
Well, Randy had just died about 2 months ago, right?
So I said, I'd bring it up at meeting, but I said, right now, as far as I know, we can't do anything about it.
Private property.
She needs to call her insurance company and let the insurance company work with the property owner if they so choose to do that. That's how that works.
So, but she had called and asked what she could do.
I guess this property owner just died about 2 months ago.
And while we're in the subject, we come by the stop by the gun club. You make your right hand turn, you can't hardly see out there, seeing the furniture are sticking out your floor.
Oh, down at Mountain.
Did you guys clean up that tree on Culver Hill Road by the stream that Kenny Reppert did all the work at? There was a big tree on that bank. Did you guys do that? Because you didn't mention it at any point.
No. And then I did start, like with the low volume grant for the pipe work, started coming up with the costs and figures, and we're actually under everything. We're under for the in-house and for their section of the grant, so that did pretty good. So once I get copy of the receipt, so I can send that in, and hopefully that's all taken care of then. That's all I have.
Mike, the generator guy, he has your new phone number, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he had it or not.
Yeah.
And,
He contacted me, and I gave it to him.
yeah, because I think he
before
came out after he was done with us. Have you noticed any of the cracks out in 1 Clinton Avenue looming?
Yes. Especially,
Do you need
How
Kevin to
often, how
go?
often were they gonna check the PK
I thought it was
spikes?
quarterly, but if
No,
you're seeing
every
more
spring.
movement,
once a year.
or was it once a year? Well, it's up to you. The leaves are
Keep it
down.
till spring and stuff, because the only reason they're starting to move is because we actually got rain again. And so, it depends on how heavy the rain is,
Mhm.
that's if it shifts and stuff, so. As long as it's dry, it's not shifting. Three of the 5 are opening up again, so.
All right.
Because we crack sealed them when we were up there, when we had the crack sealer and stuff, so.
All right.
Ben,
Any other comment?
Ben, would you want to contact Carl to get this Zoom thing fixed, or should I do that?
I'm gonna check it out tonight.
I was gonna say, usually Dave can
Yeah,
figure
I'm
that
gonna-
part out.
After the meeting, I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna reboot everything.
I did put new batteries in this stuff.
Yeah,
If he can't figure it out, then let me know
Mhm.
and stuff.
Yeah, I'll stay after the meeting and try and get one running. Is that it? Any other comment? All right, thank you, Ben. All right, on to the park.
We've currently got 14 return bookings for next year. We're waiting for feedback from 3 more folks that I called that are repeats. The rest of all have to be new birthday stuff and new bookings when they come in. Ben, I'm going to drop my final time sheet off to you tomorrow. You're going to be in the office tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, I'll drop by in the morning.
Okay.
And just a couple of things, when I met with Roger, just talking about who will inspect the playground equipment for bolts, strengthening, retightening and all that. Painting, measuring the pavilion, bolts for next year, and then I think you mentioned to me that there's a grant that's we're waiting for a decision on.
Well, they just passed the signed the budget today, so
Oh, was it?
hopefully we may hear something.
Next week, I think. It's supposed to be on the November 18th
When they make the announcement.
agenda. Yeah, but they may, because they just did the budget, push it
Yeah.
to December.
Okay. And the water's all turned off and everything's
That's all winter
buttoned
roads.
up for the winter. All right.
And did you know what the key was for the mower on the beam, if you're gonna take it out
Oh, I have a spare.
of there? Okay. Yeah, it sits on the backside of the beam, when you walk in the door, it's a key.
I usually take all the spares over when I go over, just in case. So,
All right, any other comment?
No.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
All right, on to solicitor, Mr. Barbiers.
All right, I don't really know that I have anything that we haven't talked about, other than, I do have in this little box here, this is the resolution to approving the adoption of the adoption agreement related documents for the 401A plan. So that was approved at last month's meeting. I just need signatures, and it's so long because the documents are long, but I wanted them attached to the resolution so that they're in township records together. So there's multiple copies here, that's why there's so much paper. Other than that, we talked about Crusher Creek, we talked about Ideal Storage, and we talked about Blue Heron. And I noticed on the agenda, we also have the Route 61 agreement and ordinance modification. Last meeting, my impression was it was tabled. I don't know that that's going to be untabled at this point, but I don't have that, anything on that, further on that.
Well, since I wasn't here last month, what was Ryan's concern that he said there was the borough was having some issues with their agreement or whatever? Is that what he conveyed last month?
I wasn't here either, so. I'm not
I
sure.
was here, but my memory on that is, I don't remember exactly.
Ryan made a recommendation, he's totally against it, it's unfounded, and there's no need to take any action on it, that was his recommendation, that's why we
Right.
dismissed it last month,
Right,
based on his recommendation.
I don't recall all the specifics.
Was there a vote on that, since you have a quorum?
Yes, and we agreed to,
Yeah, it was voted, they voted to table it.
Okay, all right.
I don't have anything else at this point.
The only other thing I have for you, on your invoice for last month, we were billed for a phone call from you to me on the 9th, the day after the meeting. And that phone call never happened.
That phone call occurred the day of the meeting, I believe. So it might have been the date might be incorrect.
I don't remember talking to you or anybody from your office that day. Yeah, I don't recall talking to you or anyone from the office. Do you wanna look into that?
You can remove it. I think I called you enough that I didn't get you. But
Yeah.
that shouldn't have shown up on the bill if that was the case, so.
Okay, so because we
You
didn't
can
put a
just-
final amount on your check this month because I was questioning that phone call.
You can deduct that and I'll,
Okay.
Yeah, October 8th was the meeting.
Yeah,
yeah.
but the bill was for the 9th.
The
Yeah, and I know
following day.
I didn't talk to Russell or anybody in the office the 8th or the 9th.
I don't know, that may have been, our phone system pushes things over to the billing system
Okay.
sometimes, so
8750.
Yeah, just take the 4750 off.
just take it off.
All right. Any other comment? No. All right, thank you. On to old business. Job descriptions. No comment? Next year you'll work on them.
what's
Right.
that?
Next year you'll work on them, right?
They will be handed out in January 5th meeting.
Fine. First, professional services and supervisor's duty. Same scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Route 61 we just talked about. On to new business, the preliminary budget. You wanna go through it?
You can, if you have a handout. One of the main things, of course, is, at least is my recommendation, is it's not necessary for a tax increase. The tax increase last time for this year was because of providing funding for emergency services. If you have a handout, you can, anyone on the board have any questions with this? What I did is I realistically, over the years, basically have an idea of what we did, and you can see on the right-hand side, this was the format that Mr. Davis produced, and I put the numbers in as far as I did the research for the revenues for the previous years. And of course, the projected amount for the end of this year. And then in the far right-hand column would be the budget, realistic budget with this. Of course, you never know if you have any emergencies, and of course, over the years, our philosophy has always been that we have a $350,000 reserve in the general fund if there would be the necessity for something that would happen that was not accounted for or anticipated. So, of course, the budget numbers would be just numbers that would hopefully be fairly realistic numbers for costs that have been experienced over the years. Do you want me to mention if people go through each line item? On the far right would be the actual budget for next year in those particular columns. 300 numbers are income. It's estimated if you go to the third page of the 5 pages at the end, the third page, at the top, where it has total revenue or income, there you can see the total numbers. And of course, in 2024, that is over $1 million is because of the American Rescue Fund money that we received. But the budget anticipated monies to be received in all accounts, and in this case it would be just general and state, $947,700. And if you go down a little bit further, of course, the audit code shows the 400s, that's the expenses. So then you go through the different categories, and again, on the right-hand side would be the expenses.
Craig,
Yeah,
thank you for putting this together. It's very helpful. Does everybody in the audience have a copy of this? You do?
Yeah, I do have, just a.
Oh, you have a question?
It looks like the big expense over last year is road maintenance. Road what?
It's higher, you're saying?
Road maintenance is a big increase over last year for expenses.
You mean for this year or?
Compared to this coming year over, not last year, but this year.
Yeah, this year we just did patchwork,
Right.
so we didn't do no real major work.
What line are we
So
referring to?
next year, we're planning on doing the oil and chip again. So, right now, if they approve it for next year, the oil and chip's gonna be like 315,000.
Of the 410.
And some of the truck money may come out of there as well, correct?
No, I
Yes.
just-
anything that deals with roads, the salaries for the people.
But that's why it was lower this year
Yep.
compared to other years.
That's the big change from this year to
Yeah.
next year.
Craig, the question I guess I have is,
Yeah, 'cause-
all that, the list that Ben sent, a project he wants to do for the coming year, is that in that 410?
Yes.
Does that cover everything, Ben?
We gotta wait till next year. And the prices will be
We're giving
different.
you an allowance,
The
okay?
prices will be different coming January than they are now. 'Cause,
Okay.
If oil drops down, it'll be a lot cheaper. If oil goes up, it's gonna be a lot more expensive.
Is that all that you need? or
That was
what?
at today's prices. I mean, not today's, but that day's price.
Okay.
Well, no, that should cover the new truck and the road work.
Road work.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of this, Polly? You don't, okay.
Yeah, if anyone got a handout.
It's
this was
attached.
included-
It is
This was
attached,
included in the
okay.
handout.
All right.
This is huge.
Then the bottom line, if on the very last page, if you want to compare expenses expected for 2026, $943,900, which is roughly the amount of income we received. And again, if anything happens during the year that you need money by motion and amendment, you can change the budget. That's why you have a reserve, that's why you have a reserve fund. So I would suggest that we retain the $350,000 as a reserve in the general fund.
So we're gonna vote on this at the next meeting, is that the plan?
You want a motion for
We
approve the
would make a
preliminary?
motion to approve this on a preliminary and tentative budget, but it would be a finally approved at the last meeting in
Because it-
next month.
Because it has to be advertised,
Right, okay.
so you need a preliminary approval tonight.
Well, I'll make the motion that we approve the preliminary budget for 2026. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay. All right, the retirement agreement we talked about.
Excuse me, it's in the minutes from last month, you know, that you have been requested to develop a resolution for that, and that resolution is number 13. But we didn't approve the resolution, so I think it would be appropriate for tonight if we would actually, you know, make a motion to
Okay.
approve resolution number 13.
13-2025.
Correct.
You want to make that motion?
Yes, I will make the motion that we approve resolution number 13-2025.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
So now that that's approved, Craig, what's the next step so we can make sure it gets counted as in place for the calendar year
Well,
2026?
we're gonna have to forward that to PSATs.
And you're gonna take care of that?
You know,
Yeah, we'll
once
sign it at the
we
end of
sign
the
it.
meeting. All right. Election results. Congratulations, Polly.
I
You have
included
something
it
else?
because what do we do if, you know, maybe, did anyone check with the election bureau? Was there anyone elected as a tax collector in the write-in?
I checked, no.
No, okay.
I didn't check I checked the results on the night of the election. I'm not aware of.
Okay,
But I
so,
don't know
so
if they
what
were write-ins or not.
happens? What happens now? Do we appoint someone, or
I'll have to
what's the procedure?
I have to double check. Unfortunately, the answer is not, you get to stop paying taxes.
Well, that's what I mean, you know, to get it official, you have to check with the election.
They can write you in, you don't have to
That's,
accept
I
it.
think that's why I was like.
No, you don't have to accept
Because there
it.
was like 60-some votes, that's why I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
Yeah, they have to go down and I think and confirm.
That's why I was just questioning that, because there was one.
And what's the name of the person?
It was a Reed, that's why I just asked him, he says, did they have to confirm it though? Last name was Reed, R-E-E-D, I don't remember the first name. Like Black Cat.
They probably haven't certified the results yet anyway,
Probably,
so we have to wait for the certification. I'm on their website right now, and I just see the unofficial. I just see
But
unofficial.
there are things that we have to send in to the county by the end of this calendar year in reference to tax amounts and all of that, and
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there were 104 write-ins, but I don't see who was actually written in on the report.
It says somewhere that they will need to notify by 3 weeks from the day of election. That's the requirement.
Yeah, I know there's a deadline. I don't know what it is offhand, but
So it still gives enough time for Craig to submit when he needs to, right?
yes. So we'll need to make sure that we get that information. But I know what form you're talking about. Usually we submit it like in the latter part of December.
yeah, there's a deadline, in the 20-some of December. That would be the tax rate, et cetera, you know, and
Right.
in that case, ours will stay the same, and it's not.
Right. Yeah. So I think we'll have to wait and see if because they have to claim the write-in votes. I guess you know that.
All right, is that it? I have one other item I didn't see on the agenda, was that email that we got from Carl about the computer replacement.
Right.
Do you have any comment on that?
I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. We gotta look at it and see what he's proposing.
Yeah, he was looking for, I mean, he just wanted to know what for the printer and that stuff and, the type of laptop. I think he came up with a final price of about $2,000. So look at it and decide next month.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, right now, what equipment, the only thing is Ben's missing a scanner, but there's nothing else being used or utilized, right? I mean, there's no hardship over this equipment at the moment, other than the scanner.
Well, the thing was, the scanning, and our computer is,
Outdated.
it's old.
It was here before me, so,
Yeah, well,
Is it used though?
not that I know.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
well, okay.
I need to do something to scan.
Okay.
But I need the scanner to work.
Did you load
on
that app
some-
on your phone? Did you get an app loaded?
Yeah,
Does it work?
kind of. It's definitely smarter than I am.
I didn't say anything.
I can get the picture. It's moving the picture is interesting.
On to other concerns, the only thing I have, I'm gonna give Craig tonight, he wanted to be shown in the minutes. I had a MasterCard from the Township that expired back in '24, and I also had the Lowe's card. Anytime Ben needed something over at Lowe's, I had to go over there with the card and meet him and that stuff, so those cards are in here. So, because they have my name on them, I cut them in half, so you guys can get started early on regenerating it.
Are you coming next month meeting?
I don't know if I'm gonna be here or not,
Okay.
since it got changed. I'm gonna be on vacation, because I had my vacation set up for the meeting on the 10th. Any other concerns?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to pay the bills.
Just part of it, I had to put the
We'll change
amount
that
in,
one.
I had to do the arithmetic with this. But then everything else is on those sheets.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills that were presented.
I'll second that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
With that being said, Craig, do you have any checks signed, or all the checks are blank in your checkbook there?
Everything is blank.
Okay. Blank meaning no signature, you have no pre-signed checks?
No, I do
Okay.
not, but of course, Ben gets paid on Friday, so I take care of it. Ben.
Oh. So, but the next payment till the next month, we need a check signed, right?
Right.
Okay, well, just let me know, we'll stop and we'll sign it. Okay?
Any reason to go into executive session? No?
I don't think so.
Anybody have anything else?
That's it.
All right, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And you.